Hi, my name is Aaron Harris. I'm a sound designer and composer at Mammoth Audio, and today I'm going to show you how you can use density to make some unique pulses. I've pulled up density here. I'm just going to show you a quick walkthrough of how I made a pulse using some sounds from the throat singing library in density. So here's your default menu when you pull up density. You want to go in here, open up this menu. It's not in one shot, so you'll go to playable, you'll go to instruments, and you'll go to throat singing. And I've done a little bit of groundwork, and I found that I really like this sound, and I like it in C. I think that's a really good bass for what I'm going for. I'm going to tweak it a little bit here, and I'm going to go under the hood of the engine, and I'm going to go to the the instrument buses, and I'm going to turn off the reverb. I think that's a better. I know I don't really want to start with reverb. I'll add that later if I want, but I don't want to start with it, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to turn off the release time because I want it to be pretty dry, so I can process it and have more control. So that tail, I'm going to turn that off, so there's no release. So it sounds a little surgical right now, but that's what I want as a bass. So so that's what I have, and here's what it sounds like. So we're going to process that and make it sound a little less mechanical and a little more, give it some movement and make it sound a little more appealing. But we're also going to add distortion. In my other video, I used stock plugins that came with Logic. I'm going to get into some third-party plugins for this one because I just wanted to show you some plugins that I really dig and I use regularly. And this is probably my favorite distortion plugin. It's Trash 2 by Isotope. There's a Trash 1. Trash 2 is awesome. There's a whole list of categories here for different styles of distortion, saturation. I really like under utility. You go to the second one here. I really like this one. It's called Add Some Tone. It's just my go-to. I found it to be super useful, and I like the way it sounds. So I always go to that one as a default, unless I'm trying to get something outside of just a really good distortion. But anyway, I know from using it, I don't want it this wet. I want it around 30%. So I'm going to back that down a bit. And here's without. Here's with. So you can see it's a pretty aggressive distortion. It adds some weight to it. It's not just like adding top end, bite. It's distorting across the spectrum. It's a really good, like I said, distortion, and I use it a lot. So I'm gonna go with that, and I want more movement, so I'm gonna use another plugin here, and this one's a tremolo, and it's by a company called Sound Toys, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with Sound Toys, but if you're not, they make really, really good modulation, delay, distortion, pitch shift, filtering, some really, really useful tools for sound design and for mixing. If you can do it, just throw down and get the full bundle. It's super useful. You'll use it all the time. It's really good. They also have an effect rack that you can get. It was on sale recently, and I think that gives you everything. So you could just get that, and that comes up as a rack, and you can just put in the effects that you want, and that's also really great. But so I'm going to use their tremolo to give the pulse some more movement. So I have it MIDI tempo synced to the session, which is 110. And I have an eighth note pulse here. So I'm going to back off the depth a little bit just so it's a little less choppy, I guess, a little less like boxy sounding. I want the wave to be a little more rounded. So if you backed off the depth a lot, it's kind of like a wet dry, so yeah, like that. So it's not 100%, but it's pretty close. Just backing it off a little bit rounds it out just a tiny bit, just so it's not so, like I said, not so choppy. It's not what I'm going for this one. And then to top it off, I want to add a little more bottom to it. So this plugin by Plugin Alliance is called the BX Subsynth. It's a subharmonic synthesizer, and it's really great for adding bottom end harmonics to pretty much anything, but especially sounds like this where there's already some low end to work with. I mean, it's not really great for adding bottom end to, like, say a cymbal sound or something, but when you've got a sound that has bottom end and you just want to focus it a little more and make it a little punchier, a little beefier, this guy's great. So here's without it. Here's with it. This mid-side processing is really useful, so I can make it a little less mono. You can go extreme, make it pretty wide, but since it's a pulse and it'll be kind of the base of our track, I want it to be not quite mono, but I want it to be fairly mono. And you can tweak the where the low end punch is, kind of like I don't know if you ever use like the Little Lab's Voice of God or something like that. It's great for just kind of like notching and focusing that low end. Yeah, it's pretty beefy. So there we have it. So I'm going to print this and I'm going to call it Throat Pulse 110 BPM, and it's in the key of C. This is a good habit to get into, so then you'll start to build your own library of sounds. So if you're working on a project and you need a pulse in 110 and in C, you'll search and over time you'll start to build up your own little library of sounds. So that's just a little tip from me to you, just to get into the habit of putting in this tempo and key information, so that, I mean, if you're going to bounce it in place, you might as well have that so that you can grab it later. Grab it later if you need to. So here we go. So that's how I made that pulse, and it will be in the free sample pack coming out this month of pulses that I made with Density. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have fun, and yeah, enjoy.